How's it going, everybody? It's me, Joel, back again on this show. It starts with me. Listen, we've got a great show that is prepared for you today. It's a young lady that comes all the way from the Philippines, and she has this tenacious story about how she became a teacher. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be great. But first, let's go ahead and talk about a few other things to get this on and out. First of all, It Starts With Me is here with you every single Wednesday at 12:30. You can find us on Facebook, streaming live on YouTube, and also on LinkedIn, as well as the multiple platforms of podcasts. We're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Anchor, we're on Spotify. So please listen in. There's 4 episodes there, one about me and the reason why this whole thing came about. And then there's also another one with Mike Seville and Samuel Hoffman, which I know you all like that. And then we had the Alicia Curry, the audacious Alicia. She's on there. And today we're going to have Hollie, and she's going to come through and she's going to give a great story. It's going to be beautiful. 2 more things, right? Motivational Mike Monday. You got to get in there. It's a quick live stream of about 15 minutes, sometimes a half hour, where Mike breaks down some of the complexities of real estate and also gives great tips on living and on structuring life from his analytical mind. Mike is a thinker, and if you want to understand something, DM him. You know, you can always get in touch with him. We have his contact information. DM us, and we'll get you in contact with him. At the end of the week, on Fridays, 6:30, Mike Seville and myself, we're going to be together. He's got his show, I got my show, we got our show. And that show is called The Community Beacon, where we desire to help people to escape their own mundane lives and realize exactly who they are and their potential, and then to take that potential and excel, go to the next level. So it's all about breakthroughs, it's all about learning, it's all about guidance, it's all about community involvement, it's all about being a beacon for the community to see the way even in the midst of a dark, dark world. All right. Let's get ready to rumble. Just kidding. There's no wrestling match coming on. We're bringing in Hollie, and she is coming from the Philippines, and she's ready to tell us a little bit more about why she became a teacher. Let's get at it.
Hey, all.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm getting all the energy ramped up with that whole ready to rumble thing.
Yeah. I love it. I used to love, watching wrestling and stuff like that. So let's talk about, let's give you a little introduction first. Hollie here is a college teacher of 3 years in the Philippines, and she loves that. She loves teaching in the Philippines. She majored in communication and English. That's what she's teaching. She's got hobbies in writing. I mean, that's perfect if you're going to be teaching English and communication. She's got a hobby in writing. She loves the theater. She studied in Toronto, Canada, in arts management. And she's been dealing with and friendship with our executive assistant, Anna, for at least a year, if not even more. But they've got a close relationship. I got a chance to hear them laughing and giggling and having a good time speaking with each other. So, Hollie, tell us a little more about yourself than that. I mean, what else could you add?
Okay, in terms of adding more things, I don't know what makes me more out there, but I'm going to tell you I'm not an ordinary person because there's no such thing as ordinary. So I actually tend to speak up very randomly from time to time. Like when everyone is so quiet, And this actually applies and was very helpful in my class. Whenever they are quiet, I tend to blurt out some things that we can start talking about, and it actually helps us to, go into our lessons a little bit more easier, a little bit more casual. I'm a person who really is a fan of casual, like casual anything, casual wear, casual conversation, casual, casual friendships. I just like the feeling of being comfortable. And I think that's actually very helpful to establish not just with yourself, but also with my students, to have that casual relationship with them, that it doesn't feel very suffocating. So I think I really have this thing when it comes to, I will try to make anything into a story, because you know what? As I say in a journalism class that I have, everything is a story. Not everything has a story, but everything is a story. So I think we can, say that as my little bit of intro.
I like it. That's a powerful statement right there. Make it a story. Make it a story,
Yeah.
and everything has.
Everything, like even a light bulb has a story. Like, where did it come from? Like, even a pebble has a story, even the puddle has a story. Anything has its story. So that's something that I always have in mind in terms of writing, in terms of talking to people, in terms of, looking at everything. So
All right, I love it. So are you right-brained or left-brained?
I am more heart person.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's going to be a hard discussion if you're going to say, are you a right brain or a left brain? Because people already respond to, this particular portion of your brain is artsy and this one is logic. Hey, I have a heart too, and you can cut them in two. So I'm okay with that. I'm more a heart person.
You're a heart person. Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, I love it. So then, this becoming a teacher, because obviously you are a great communicator, and I love that you have the ability to open up to people. You call it random conversations, but I understand that because I feel like I have a little bit of a knack to figure out how to communicate with people as well. There's some lessons in networking where bringing up some sort of random information or notating something that somebody is wearing can actually start a network of influence and information sharing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they say that a small piece of a thought or a small piece of idea can actually propel you to start an even bigger conversation. And you know what? Even change the course of things. It's like a ripple effect. Just a single word is a ripple effect. So that's something that everyone can really look into, because it's a big thing. The words that we're using, the things that we're thinking about are always going to be a very big effect in the future, in everything that you're going to moving forward.
Agreed. So then, with stepping into why you became a teacher, tell me a little bit about what was your inspiration? What was the ripple, the effect, like the stone tossed into the pond or the lake called Hollie that caused you to become a teacher?
Okay, this is actually quite a story. It's not really an inspiration. It was like a moment that came out of nowhere, because I was actually staying, and currently I am in the south. Currently, but before I got the opportunity to be a teacher, I was in the north. They call it north of the Philippines, actually north of Metro Manila. So I was there, and I got a call from a friend saying, "Oh, you know what? A friend of ours is asking, do you want to teach, or are you up for teaching?" And I was saying, I don't know, because teaching was never really in the plan for me. It was never really a goal for anything, especially as I was thinking, you know what, comm people or communication people has to be in the broadcasting network. People in communication needs to be in PR. They have to be in advertising. I was so stuck in that stigma and that thought. But then, I kind of said, but teaching is also comm. Teaching is also communicating with people and having to make them understand that this is important. The lessons that you're going to teach them is important. So you know what? I grabbed the opportunity. And this was the funny part, because after I said, you know what? Let's do it. She said, can you do it tomorrow? And I said, no. And then I said, can you not prepare a demo for tomorrow? A teaching demo for tomorrow? It's like, girl, this came to me at nighttime. You tell me this at nighttime. You want me to do this in the morning? No. But I will tell you that I can do it the next day. I will do it the next day. And I will tell my dad, who I was living with at that time, and I'm still living with him. We basically just moved back home. I told him, Pa, I have this opportunity. I call him Papa. So, Pa, I have this opportunity, but we have to go home, like to our actual home, the place where I grew up on. And then when we got here, I really gathered all of these information. What is it that I'm supposed to teach? What am I supposed to do? I'm having that moment as of the moment right now, my semi-heart attack moment. And I'm having like that race of things, like a lot of things is coming into my mind. And I said, you know what? I can do something that can cheat me, kind of, giving myself a push. And what I talked about in my demo was tips, do's and don'ts in public speaking. to kind of remind myself when I was doing that particular demo, that teaching demo. And I think from there, from being given an opportunity, I kind of learned to love the profession. So that was not an inspiration, but that was the movement towards my love for the profession.
Wow. So it was actually, your inspiration actually came after you made the decision to take the chance.
Yeah, very much so. It came from being given the opportunity. I was given that opportunity. I was very thankful for the opportunity, because a lot of people have mentioned to me that they don't understand me as much, especially when I'm talking. But right now, in teaching, I get to actually see, oh, you know what? I'm impactful. I am inspirational, even though my students do not tell me why. But I am very I need to have an interview session with my students and ask them why. That's actually that's a good thing that to be said, to be told that, you're very helpful, you're very insightful. We get to understand you. We get to understand the lessons that you teach. And I think that for me was the cherry on top of, I don't know, a cupcake or cake.
Whichever one, huh? Maybe both.
How big? I mean, some people say it in groups and some people say it as an individual. So I will say a cupcake and a cake.
There it is. I mean, it sounds like you got a great podcast set up. I don't know if you heard it while you were speaking, but I could just start thinking about it. I was like, a podcast that has a teacher interviewing her children or interviewing the students to find out what it is that inspires them through her teaching skills or through teachers' teaching skills. And I can just see, you interviewing students from all over, and then not even just talking about yourself, but also talking to students all over about the teachers that have most inspired them. And then I can see teachers actually tuning into that podcast to hear what these other teachers have done that was so fantastic that their students began to increase in their knowledge and their abilities and never forgot those teachers, and maybe even transforming an entire culture.
Yeah, and I think it's a very enlightening and it's a very helpful moment, both for a student and a teacher, to get to know the good things that they do for one another, because it really gives them the extra push to, carry on with the things that they want to achieve in life. Like when I hear the teachers talk about their students and the students that they're most proud of, and the students that, came a long way, and saying, I helped that kid, I helped that movement, I helped him or her love the subject, love the thoughts that I've been putting into the whole lesson that I'm going into. And then the students get to tell you, this is the teacher that inspires me the most, and this is the reason why I shifted into this course, I went into this field, I went into this track. And I've had a lot of students tell me that they changed their track, their original track, from a particular course to communication because of me. And that's very, I think that was very inspiring, and that was like a very eye-opening moment for me, that I might be cut out for teaching. I'm still in the might scope, but I will always say I might have this thing that I can help people understand the good and the ideas of this particular subject, this particular thing that I'm passionate about, and get them passionate about the same thing.
Oh, that's a big word to me, passion. I want to go back to something that you had said earlier today, because earlier in the meeting, this interview, because I don't want to brush over that, because one of the things that we talk about on this show is time and chance, and how when the appropriate time arises, chances or opportunities will present themselves, and being tenacious enough to jump on that opportunity just can open up so many doors. And it sounded as if you were saying that this chance just kind of like showed up. And the funny part about it, as you stated yourself, was that your friend was like, okay, can you start tomorrow? The demo tomorrow. What did that feel like? Just a little more about taking that chance right then.
I think it was a very, I don't know, I got a feeling of rush during that time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this. I don't know if I can do this, and if I can be successful in this. You know what? Every time that I say to myself, I don't know, I basically push myself a little bit more further back to trying something new. And I actually want to try something new. Basically, I went into this with my intention and idea of food. I will try everything, and if I don't like it, then at least I tried it. So that's my whole cuisine philosophy. And then I went into this whole moment, and my favorite word now is meditation. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna dive into this. I'm going to dive headfirst into this. And if I actually drown into the whole going at that pace, at least I know, and I have that strong feeling that someone's gonna see the bubbles. Someone will see the bubbles at some point. And they will try, they will do their best to save me, because they know that I'm still breathing down there.
I would tell you, I love that analogy. Someone will see the bubbles. I know it.
Someone see the bubbles. There's a person there. There is a person down there. It's still breathing. It is still breathing.
Come look for
so
me.
That's something. I'm not further down yet. You can still see that bubble. So that's kind of my thing now. I really want to get into this. I will just dive into this, and I know at one point something or someone will be there to save me. And if that's not myself, if I can't save myself, I know that there are good people out there who I consider my family, I consider my friends, I consider my belief and my faith that will save me eventually. from going into them, and they know that I'm worth saving and I'm worth going into because I actually dove first to try something for, you know what, for a change.
Wow, that was very powerful. I hope that our listeners got a hold of that. That was powerful. You know, it sounds as if you have a strong foundation, and so you're operating off of that. You know.
I want to believe that I have a strong foundation. I want to believe that I have a strong dynamic to back me up. Because even if I don't, and even if someone out there doesn't have a strong dynamic, having that feeling and that confidence that someone out there is, you know, based and is grounded on you and will be there for you. I think just the notion of and feeling that someone is there for you makes you a little bit stronger, makes you a little bit tougher.
That's powerful, because I believe that many times people are afraid to take a chance. They're afraid to make these important transitions in their life, and they miss opportunities because they feel so much that they will fail that they just don't do anything. Do you think that your foundation helps you and gives you the strength to actually make that transition?
I think the one thing that I appreciate with the foundation that I have is that they allow me to fail. They allow failure to happen, because if failure doesn't happen, then you don't know what can be successful, what will be successful. And I think that's something that a lot of people tend to take poorly, that, you know what, there's no area for failures, there's no room for mistakes, there's no room for errors. You have to be perfect the first time you do it, or you have to know this and to calculate this the first time you do it. And then, you know what, they are going to fail. That's something that you kind of have to put in mind. They are going to fail. The thing is, they're trying to figure out what works. And I think that's something that's courageous in terms of, you know, understanding, going into and taking chances. So that's my thought.
Once again, another powerful thought from Hollie. You know, I believe that it's important that people fail fast, fail forward, fail often. You know, because I believe that through failure we learn so much, and we have an opportunity to become greater so long as we persevere. What do you think about that thought?
I think, and I believe in that thought, because if you don't fail, then success doesn't really have worth, because you didn't have a hard time getting there. You didn't have to work on getting there. I think that's one thing that I'm going to say, and I really, really value the whole, you know what, we allow, and you're going to be allowed to fail, and you're going to fail a lot of times. But the thing is, at least you're keeping on, you're going, and you're continuously trying, you're continuously moving towards that. And it's okay to stop for a while. At least when you're stopping, you're saying, I'm stopping, I'm resting, but I'm not, you know, I'm not giving up. I'm not saying no more to that one step. And I think, yeah, I really love the foundation of, I want my students to know it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail from time to time. You don't need to keep on being perfect. Keep on being okay. Keep on being, you know, the best. Because if you're best, and if you're going to keep putting in your best, you're going to burn yourself out. And it's going to really take a toll on you. And I've seen that. I've seen that with a lot of people. I even saw that with myself. I've seen that with myself a lot of times. And I think that's something that I really want to instill with a lot of my students, a lot of the people going forward.
Again, I mean, you are an extremely wise individual. That's just how you said that, you believe in the failure because if you don't fail, success doesn't have a chance to birth. And that's powerful. I mean, that's powerful. It's almost as if you said that failure can be a transitional phase into success.
Yeah, and I believe failure gives success a spotlight. That's something. Failure gives success a spotlight. You don't celebrate things that are not beautiful.
We're gonna have to do some more work after this. Okay, so let me ask you a few other questions. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so since you have made this transition, from the mindset of where you had to be into broadcasting because you were in communications and you opened up the door into teaching, since you became this teacher, what was the most difficult moment that you've had?
I think it's the feeling of, and even though they say that in teaching you're constantly met with different people, I find it that stagnancy was one thing that was difficult for me. Like, it felt like this is where I am and I'm not growing anymore. I'm not growing as an individual anymore. So I had that moment. Even when I was like meeting a lot of kids, I was meeting a lot of teens. I'm not just in college, I'm not just teaching college, I was also teaching senior high school. And at that moment I was saying, am I doing things on repeat? Am I doing things as a routine? Am I still doing it because it invites a certain feeling inside of me? Like, am I still happy? I was having those moments. So
Wow.
Hitting the second year of my teaching, that's kind of what I felt was a difficult moment for me. The stagnancy and the questioning why, like, what's happening, what's going to be the next thing that's going to happen, or the next big thing that's going to happen.
So would you say that this is, are you still in that place now? Do you still feel that now?
From time to time, yeah, I still have those moments where I feel like, I need to sit down and question some things. But when I look back to my students, when I look into the whole idea of, it makes me happy that I can help them. It gives me something to have to battle with. And I don't know, a lot of people, especially people in theater, love drama. So I like the drama that's happening inside my mind. The stagnancy and the inspiration and the questions and the love and the passion. So it's basically me talking as if I'm giving a plot to a theatric play that's going to happen inside my own mind.
Oh my God, you are so creative. You're so creative. I relate a lot.
I really hope so. I really hope so. I think I need to, conceptualize sticker quotes.
I think you will do well with that. I think you will do really well with that. So what are some techniques that you're using, or are you using any techniques to kind of help motivate yourself in the midst of this, feeling of possible non-growth?
The techniques that I'm doing, I have this concept of what is the selfish thing that I can do and what's the unselfish thing that I can do. And that's that one thing that I use constantly. Like, I'm doing this selfishly and I'm doing this unselfishly because. So the reason for that is when I'm thinking, and there has been a lot of thoughts, like when you think about yourself in the moment, it's selfish. When you think about other people, it's selfless. So I have that moment, like, where am I going to benefit the most? Where am I going to feel like myself the most? in a situation or in a moment, that's where I go into. But I level it with a moment that, you know what, this time I'm not going to think about myself. I'm going to think about the others. And that kind of helps me balance some of the things that I'm struggling with and some of the things that I'm thinking about, because I get to focus back on myself and I get to focus on them.
That's a powerful thing. And that's a life lesson for many people, because sometimes we do get bogged down in our own thoughts, and we kind of lose the purpose and the plan of the purpose. And sometimes you have to, I shouldn't say purpose, I should say process. And sometimes we lose the understanding that we have to trust the process. We have to go through certain things. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
so
one thing
go ahead.
One thing that I do want to remind people as well as myself in this is that it's okay to be selfish at times. It's okay to be selfish and think about yourself, and never call it selfishness because you're thinking about you in the moment. Like, say that you're doing this as a gift to yourself, as a help to yourself. It's never selfish to help yourself, and it's never selfish to think about yourself and to talk about yourself, especially in the moments where you're beating yourself down and you're constantly questioning and you're constantly having a thought inside your mind and a pattern that keeps on going. So it's okay, like really be okay to think about and talk about yourself in a moment.
Beautiful. I'm glad you put that out there. That was perfect. All right, I want to go to this. This is going to be our last question, and whatever comes of this question, of course. But what has brought you the greatest amount of joy since you have made this transition?
Oh wow, I have a lot of stories. I think we would need a second part to this. No, I'm just kidding. I think a lot of the things that my students and co-teachers have said to me were really the gift that keeps on giving for me. And my love language is words of affirmation, and to being affirmed that, you know what, I'm actually doing something, that I'm actually helping you, that I'm actually helping you transition to a better outlook. Like, there was a funny story, and this is something that I would always remember, is that the day, I think, no, it's a month after the classes ended, a student messaged me, and he was saying thank you. So I already know that a lot of students would say thank you at the end of the school term or a school year to you, thinking that you are going to be in their good graces. I mean, I'm not saying that everyone thinks like that. That student of mine said, you know what, ma'am, I'm very thankful that I met you, and I am very thankful for the confidence that you've given to me. And the funny thing that came after was, I can now order in Jollibee without having to feel nauseous. And he can now there's an update. There's a new update that he just sent me. He can now negotiate in a stall. That's a new update from the student, and I'm putting it out there. You know who you are. If you ever go here, just know that you made my day. You made my day, and the update that you gave made it all the more better.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Well, I truly am thankful to have met you, Hollie. Hollie, how do you pronounce your last name?
Reamico.
Reamico. Did I say that correctly?
We can say it in 2 syllables. We can say it in 2 ways. But
that was such
because
a sweet
my
way
dad
of saying no.
You can never tell a student that their answer is wrong. You will always try to find something to say in like, you know, here is a consolation to a good try. No, but seriously, even my dad doesn't like. He has two ways of saying our last name. So even for me, I don't know what the actual pronunciation of my last name is. So to anyone out there who has the same last name as me, tell me. Please contact me and tell me.
All right. So, hey, everybody, this is the wonderful Hollie Reamico. Oh, please help me one more time.
Hollie Reamico.
Hollie Reamico.
Miko. Yes.
Miko. All right. I'm not going to say it again because I think I got it pretty close.
Okay.
She's a wonderful teacher in the Philippines, and I hope that she comes back onto our show. Is there any last comments that you would like to leave a lasting impression?
Again, to the family members out there who has the same last name as me, you know what to do. Contact me, find me. If you have the same last name, tell me how you say it, because even I don't know. No, but seriously, no, but seriously though, I mean, on a serious note, you never say it and seriously, it sounds adult. On a serious note, you always go through life head first, and that's something that I'm going to leave forever and for always. Go about things head first, and if you feel like you're drowning, don't worry, because someone's gonna see the bubbles. So that's something. Someone's gonna see the bubbles at some point.
So at some point they'll see the bubbles.
Yes, at some point they will see the bubbles.
Thank you so much, Hollie.
Thank you so much, too, for the time, for the opportunity to go into this, because I actually dreamt of being in this kind of situation. I never thought it would happen. I never thought that 2022 would give me that opportunity, but you gave me at the end of January, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Definitely our pleasure. Shout out to Anna who set this whole thing up. This was a beautiful time. Anna, do you want to say anything before we close out?
Yes, I do. Mom Hollie, I will be your first guest to that teacher podcast, if you please.
Don't worry, we're already connected. I'm gonna send you a message. PM is the
Yes, Mom. Also, I also wanted to say that I am thankful that I met you and that you said yes to that offer from your friend like 2 years ago. Because, well, not only did I get to learn about the passion that I never knew I had, I'm working here at this awesome company that wants to give out tenacious energy to everyone and anyone and just want to help other people grow and stuff. And I want to thank you because you started it all for me.
They will tell you what made them want to do it. They will never tell you what inspired them to. But you know that it's you. So I'm very thankful for that, Anna. And I'm very thankful for meeting you as well. You are a very, very bright, both as an individual and your hair color bright person. The last time that I saw Anna in school, she had like very bright hair. So that's always going to be a lasting. So that's a very lasting impression, and I'm very happy to have met you. I've seen you grow, at least in the year that I've met you and I've taught you. And I really hope that we can foster a more deeper relationship, or deeper friendship, and a deeper mentorship if I can. And yeah, I love you.
I love you too.
That's sweet. Well, thank you both for this wonderful interview. All right, let's go ahead and roll the tape. Have a good one, Holly. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Well, you were here. That was our 5th episode, I believe, that is going to be airing. And we're just glad to be here. Remember, it starts with you. It starts with me. Peace.